A controversial mandate to sell off millions of acres of federal lands was removed from the reconciliation budget bill, though its supporters are pushing to keep it alive. And for more on this, we welcome Sandy Barr, director of the Sierra Club Grand Canyon chapter. Sandy, good to see you again. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, nice to be here.
So this proposed sell-off of millions of acres of federal lands actually made it into the reconciliation bill, correct?
It did. That's right. It was in there, and then there was a lot of pushback from throughout the country from average people, but also some bipartisan pushback. There were some Republican senators, including the Idaho senators, who said, you know, we don't like this. Public lands are important to us. And so they ended up removing it. But Senator Lee has said he'll be back.
This is Senator Mike Lee of Utah. This was his idea, selling, 2 to 3 million acres over 5 years, I think was the actual idea in the bill. How would this impact Arizona?
Well, we had 14 million acres in Arizona that were eligible for the sell-off. And when you looked at those lands, you're like, why? I mean, They tried to make this housing argument, but these were not lands with infrastructure or any kind of, I mean, other than for maybe a rich person's hideaway, they really weren't appropriate for housing.
What made them eligible?
They had a number of criteria. At first, they said lands that had like grazing or other permitted activity wouldn't be eligible, but they had arbitrary information about how close they were to developed areas, you know, communities, and that it was really like kind of
sounds amorphous to me. I mean,
and it was very broad. It was very broad. So, like lands that were part of the Tonto National Forest along the Salt River were included. Places like Sabino Canyon down by Tucson were included, and it really made no sense at all.
The bill, again, the mandate was that it would be used for housing, and only did they say what kind of housing? The idea is affordable housing. Was affordable housing mentioned?
No, it was not. There was no affordable housing mandate. So these lands could have been sold off to wealthy people to build some hideaway. And again, there are ways right now to transfer public lands, through Public Purposes Act, that if there's a public purpose, those lands can be transferred to like a county or a city. But right now, but under this, they would have said you can sell them.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, Senator Lee will be back, but they are also doing a lot of things to open up those lands for privatizing them in a lot of ways for oil and gas and other activities that right now certain lands are protected from that, and they're trying to open up a lot more of those lands. They're getting rid of roadless protection for certain lands that would open them up for, you know, timber, for other mineral development, those types of things.
Senator Lee, I think, also said that that would not include national parks, national monuments, national wilderness areas, and these sorts of things. Does that make a difference at all?
Well, it's good they weren't included, but no, because there are a lot of really important, I mean, in Arizona, we have about 30 million acres of public lands. And we love our public lands, and they are so important to our economy. They're important to providing us with clean air and clean water, with recreation, culturally, and they didn't pay attention to any of that.
Well, that would be my next question, because I know that the bill also mandated that the federal officials would have to consult with state and local officials on the land that they have their eyes on. Are you saying consult means ignore?
Well, it can sometimes. And also, there are certain state officials that would love nothing better than to see more public lands sold off. We had bills at the Arizona legislature this session to promote that as well. Senator Mark Finchem, pretty much every year, has some kind of bill to get rid of public lands. We've seen Representative Gail Griffin with those bills. They think there's too much public land. That's not what the public thinks. There's bipartisan support for protecting public lands.
Here's a quote from Senator Mike Lee. Washington has proven time and again it cannot manage this land. This bill puts it in better hands. How do you respond to that?
Well, that's nonsense. First of all, there are lands that are not managed as well as they should be. But here's the other thing that they're doing, and this is not just now, but it's happened before. They defund the Bureau of Land Management or the Forest Service, and then they complain that they don't do things. They fire people, so there aren't enough people to do the work, and then they complain that the work isn't getting done. And I think that's pretty unfair, and I would disagree. Privatizing public lands is not the answer. These are lands that belong to all of us, and for them to sell them off to the highest bidder for someone's private development, that's just wrong.
So Senator Lee has vowed to bring this back in some way, shape, or form. Is there any way that he does bring this back that would be, in your opinion, in your mind, less of a problem than what we saw with this go-round?
I can't imagine that he would come up with something. I mean, at one point he talked about narrowing it to Bureau of Land Management lands, but still, that, having something that broad and doing it without actually knowing what's there, that's part of the problem. They included lands without really knowing what's there, what's of value. And why not use the current process that we have for transferring those lands if there's a public purpose? What they don't like about the current law is there has to be a public purpose.
Right. Right. All right, Sandy Barr, Sierra Club, Grand Canyon chapter. Again, it's selling off federal lands. Didn't make it in this bill. We'll see how it goes here in the future. Good to have you here.
Thanks.